Have you ever heard of Kevin Mitnick? He's been called the most famous hacker of all time, and his story reads like a Hollywood thriller. In this deep dive video, we're going to explore the untold story of Kevin Mitnick, the hacker who outwitted the FBI for years and became a legend in the cybersecurity world. Mitnick's exploits captured the world's attention in the 1990s as he hacked into some of the most secure computer systems on the planet. Seemingly for the sheer challenge of it, his incredible skills allowed him to stay one step ahead of the authorities for years, making him a folk hero to some and a dangerous criminal to others. But Mitnick's story is much more than just a cat and mouse game with law enforcement. It's a tale of curiosity, addiction, and ultimately redemption. Early life and hacking beginnings. Kevin Mitnick was born in 1963 in Los Angeles, California. From a young age, he displayed a precocious talent for technology and a deep fascination with how things worked. As a child, he would take apart toys and electronics just to figure out their inner workings. By his teenage years, Mitnick had discovered the world of hacking and phone phreaking. Phone phreaking involved using various tools and techniques to hack into telephone networks, allowing people to make free calls or access protected systems. One of the most famous phone phreaking tools was the blue box, a small device that could reproduce the tones used by telephone operators to control calls. Mitnick became obsessed with phone phreaking, using blue boxes and other methods to hack into the phone networks of major companies like Motorola and Pacific Bell. He saw it as a challenge, a way to test his skills and see just how far he could go. His hacking activities quickly escalated from phone networks to computer systems. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Mitnick began breaking into the computer systems of various companies and organizations, often just to explore and see what he could access. Some of his early targets included the Digital Equipment Corporation, Motorola, and the U.S. military's NORAD systems. The first arrest and escape. In 1981, at just 18 years old, Mitnick's hacking activities finally caught up with him. He was arrested for hacking into the computer system of the Digital Equipment Corporation and stealing software. Mitnick was convicted and sentenced to a year in prison. But this was just the beginning of Mitnick's legendary career as a hacker. After his release, he continued his hacking activities, becoming more daring and sophisticated. He saw his hacking not as a crime, but as an intellectual challenge and a way to satisfy his curiosity. In the mid-1980s, Mitnick went on a hacking spree, breaking into the computer systems of various companies and universities, including the University of Southern California and Pacific Bell. He would often steal software, source code, and other proprietary information, sometimes just to prove he could. The chase begins. In the early 1990s, Mitnick's hacking exploits caught the attention of the FBI. They believed he had hacked into some of the most secure computer systems in the world, including those of major corporations like Motorola, Nokia, Sun Microsystems, and even the NSA. The FBI launched a massive investigation codenamed Operation Bad Guy to track down Mitnick. They saw him as a dangerous cyber criminal who posed a serious threat to national security. One of Mitnick's most notorious hacks during this time was his breach of Tsutomu Shimomura's computer system. Shimomura was a renowned computer security expert who had been hired to help track down Mitnick. In a daring move, Mitnick hacked into Shimomura's system and gained access to his files, essentially spying on the man trying to catch him. Mitnick's hacks during this period were often motivated by a desire for information and a thirst for knowledge. He would hack into companies to steal software and source code, not for financial gain, but simply because he wanted to understand how things worked. One of his most famous exploits was hacking into the computer systems of Motorola and stealing valuable source code for their cutting-edge cellular phone technology. Mitnick claimed he did this not to sell the code, but because he was fascinated by the technology and wanted to learn more about it. The fugitive hacker, with the FBI hot on his trail, Mitnick went on the run, using his hacking skills to stay off the radar. He became a modern-day fugitive, constantly moving from place to place and using various aliases to avoid detection. Mitnick would hack into phone networks to make untraceable calls, and even intercepted communications between the FBI agents hunting him. He would often impersonate employees at various companies, using social engineering tactics to gain access to their systems and gather information. One of Mitnick's most ingenious tactics was his use of cloned cell phones. He would hack into cellular networks and clone the identities of legitimate subscribers, allowing him to make calls that couldn't be traced back to him. He also stole calling card numbers and used them to make long-distance calls without being detected. The capture and conviction. After years of pursuit, Mitnick was finally caught in 1995 in Raleigh, North Carolina. The FBI had traced him through his use of a cloned cell phone and surrounded the apartment complex where he was hiding. Mitnick's arrest made headlines around the world, with many hailing him as a genius and others condemning him as a dangerous criminal. The FBI saw his capture as a major victory in their fight against cybercrime, while Mitnick's supporters saw him as a misunderstood hacker who simply had an insatiable curiosity. Mitnick was charged with numerous counts of computer fraud, wire fraud, and illegal interception of communications. His trial was a highly publicized affair, with prosecutors painting him as a dangerous threat to national security, while his defense argued that he was simply an intelligent and curious individual who got carried away. In the end, Mitnick was sentenced to 5 years in prison, which was the longest sentence ever handed down for hacking at the time. The severity of his sentence sparked a debate around the issue of cybercrime and how it should be punished, with some arguing that Mitnick's sentence was too harsh, while others saw it as a necessary deterrent. Life after prison. After his release from prison in 2000, Mitnick turned his skills towards legal and ethical hacking, working as a cybersecurity consultant and author. He founded his own security firm, Defensive Thinking, and published several books, including the best-selling The Art of Deception and The Art of Intrusion. In his books and speaking engagements, Mitnick shared his experiences and insights into the world of hacking, social engineering, and cybersecurity. He became a respected figure in the industry, helping companies and organizations understand the mindset of hackers and how to better protect themselves. Mitnick's story has become a cautionary tale about the dangers of hacking and the importance of cybersecurity, while also highlighting the complex motivations and personalities that can drive people to engage in such activities. Many in the cybersecurity community see Mitnick's redemption as an inspiration, proof that even the most notorious of hackers can find a legitimate and productive path. At the same time, his story serves as a reminder of the potential consequences of hacking, even if done out of curiosity or intellectual pursuit. Kevin Mitnick's story is a fascinating one, filled with twists and turns that seem straight out of a Hollywood movie. From his early days as a curious teenager taking apart electronics, to his years as a fugitive hacker outwitting the FBI, and finally to his redemption as a respected cybersecurity expert, Mitnick's life has been nothing short of extraordinary. His tale serves as a reminder of the power of technology and the importance of using it responsibly. Mitnick's skills and intellect could have made him a valuable asset in the field of cybersecurity, but his insatiable curiosity and desire to test boundaries ultimately led him down a dangerous path. Today, Mitnick's story continues to captivate and inspire both those in the cybersecurity world and beyond. It's a tale of human ingenuity, obsession, and ultimately, the resilience of the human spirit to find redemption, even in the face of one's darkest moments.